Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much.
What separates those who succeed from those who fail? When we all receive the same 24 hours. Why do some people turn time into progress, while others watch it slip away? And most importantly, how can you ensure your hours build the life you truly want? Every person on this planet has the same 24 hours. Lincoln, Edison, Mother Teresa, the winners, and yes, even the losers. Time is the great equalizer. But here's the truth. Some people spend their time, while others invest it. That one difference in philosophy determines the quality of your life more than almost anything else. Before you develop a strategy for using time, you must first have a philosophy of time. Start with this. Time is precious and scarce. You cannot save it. You can only spend it or invest it. Imagine if a bank credited your account each morning with $86,400 and by night, whatever you didn't use was erased forever. What would you do? Of course, you'd withdraw every cent. Well, each day life gives you 86,400 seconds, and whatever you fail to invest wisely is gone, with no overdrafts and no borrowing from tomorrow. Next, understand that your use of time reveals your values. Show me your calendar, and I'll show you your priorities. Many people say family matters most, yet their schedule reflects only work. They say health is a priority, but hours are spent in front of the television. They say personal growth is important, yet entertainment fills their time. Don't just tell me what you value. Show me how you spend your time, and the truth will be clear. That is the philosophy of time you must understand before we go any further. Now let's look at what truly steals your time. I call them the enemies of time, and you must recognize them before you can defeat them. The first enemy is lack of purpose. When you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. People without clear goals drift through life, responding only to what feels urgent in the moment. They major in minor things, climbing ladders that lean against the wrong wall. I once asked a young man, "What are you doing with your life?" He replied, "I'm just waiting to see what happens." I told him, I can predict exactly what will happen, nothing. Life doesn't just happen to you, it responds to you. That's why time management must begin with purpose. The second enemy is the inability to say no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something vital. Many people are drowning in commitments that don't serve their true goals. Yes, they're busy, but busy doing what? I have a friend who constantly complained about not having time for his dreams. Yet when I looked at his schedule, I found 27 hours of television every week. That's not a time problem. That's a decision problem. The third enemy is procrastination, putting off what matters and postponing the difficult. Procrastination is withdrawing from your future to pay for present comfort. It is the thief of dreams and the killer of potential. Remember this. It's better to complete an imperfect plan today than a perfect plan next week. Time respects action, not intention. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that you have more time than you actually do. The fourth enemy is interruptions. Studies show the average person is interrupted every 8 minutes at work, and it takes about 23 minutes to regain full focus. Think about that. Your smartphone alone, marvelous as it is, can swallow 3 to 4 hours a day in tiny, almost invisible increments. Those dings, pop-ups, and quick checks, they're assassins of productivity. The fifth enemy is the inability to delegate. Some of you try to do everything yourselves. You're mowing your own lawn when you should be planning your future. You're stuck in $10 an hour tasks instead of $1,000 an hour priorities. That isn't noble, it's unwise. And the last, most dangerous enemy, the illusion of someday. Someday I'll start the business. Someday I'll write the book. Someday I'll repair that relationship. Here's the truth. There are 7 days in a week, and someday isn't one of them. Now, let's move from enemies to principles. The timeless rules for wise time investment. Techniques come and go, but principles endure. Principle number 1. Invest time according to your values. Make your calendar reflect what you claim to care about. If family matters, schedule family time first. If health is a priority, block workouts like million-dollar appointments. Because for longevity, they are. Your schedule isn't just appointments. It's a map of your life's direction. When values lead, everything else aligns. Principle number 2. Distinguish between urgent and important. Urgent demands attention now. Important advances your mission, values, and top goals. The phone ringing is urgent. Designing your life is important. Most people chase urgency and never get ahead. They keep putting out fires instead of fireproofing the house. Here's a powerful exercise. Divide a sheet into 4 quadrants and label them urgent and important but not urgent. Urgent but not important. Neither urgent nor important. Now, track how you spend your time for just 1 week. You'll likely be shocked. Most people devote less than 20% of their hours to quadrant 2, the important but not urgent activities that truly move life forward. That's where your greatest return on investment lies. Principle number 3, begin with the end in mind. Before starting your day, your week, your month, or even your life, visualize the outcome you want. What does success look like? What are you trying to achieve? Then, work backward. I often tell business clients, imagine it's December 31st. What 3 accomplishments would make this your best year ever? From there, define what must happen each quarter, each month, each week, and each day. This kind of thinking transforms how you view time. Principle number 4, focus on high-value activities. Not all hours are created equal. Some actions yield 10 times, 100 times, or even 1,000 times more than others. Identify those activities and prioritize them relentlessly. For a salesperson, it might be prospecting. For a writer, creating content. For a leader, developing the team. Whatever your role, a small percentage of your efforts create the majority of your results. The Pareto principle says 20% of your activities generate 80% of your outcomes. Find that 20% and double down. Cut or delegate the rest. Principle number 5, master the skill of batching. Your brain isn't designed for constant task switching. Jumping from email to phone call to meeting drains your mental energy in the transitions. Instead, group similar activities. Set specific times to check emails rather than reacting to every ping. Schedule calls in blocks. Create uninterrupted windows for deep work. You'll be amazed how much more you accomplish. Principle number 6, learn the power of no. Say it with me, no. One more time, no. It may be the single most powerful time management word. Warren Buffett once said, the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. Everything you say yes to means saying no to something else. Choose wisely. I'm not suggesting you become disagreeable. I'm suggesting you become selective. Remember, no is not just a word. It's a complete sentence. Sometimes, it's the most self-respecting sentence you can speak. Now, principles alone are not enough. You must turn them into action through daily disciplines, habits that translate knowledge into results. These are the disciplines of time mastery. Discipline number 1, planning. Take time to plan, because failing to plan is planning to fail. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each evening mapping the next day, and 30 minutes each weekend planning your week. Every minute invested in planning saves 10 in execution. Planning isn't just deciding what to do, it's deciding what not to do. A good plan today beats a perfect plan tomorrow. Discipline number 2, prioritization. You can't do everything, but you can do the most important things. I use what I call the Big 6. Identify the 6 most critical tasks for tomorrow and rank them by importance. Why 6? Because 6 meaningful achievements each day add up to 30 a week, 120 a month, and over 1,400 high-value accomplishments a year. Small daily disciplines, compounded over time, create massive results. Discipline number 3, focus. Once you know what matters, give it your full attention. In a distracted world, focus is becoming a true superpower. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create an environment that supports concentration. Work in 90-minute blocks that align with your body's natural rhythm. Then take short breaks to recharge. Discipline number 4, energy management. Your time is only as valuable as the energy you bring to it. 1 hour of focused, high-energy effort is worth 3 hours of scattered work. Protect your energy with proper sleep, nutrition, exercise, and stress management. Learn your personal peak hours and reserve them for your most demanding tasks. For me, mornings are best, so I guard them for my most creative and challenging work. What gets measured gets improved. Track how you spend your time for at least 1 week, and you'll be surprised by the gap between perception and reality. Use a simple journal or a digital app, it doesn't matter which. The real value is awareness. As Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed, and your time is no exception. Discipline number 6, reflection. Take time to evaluate how you've invested your hours. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I spend my time on my highest values and priorities? What worked well? What didn't? What adjustments should I make tomorrow? Extend this practice weekly, monthly, and yearly. Without reflection, you risk repeating the same time management mistakes indefinitely. Now let's talk about something profound, the seasons of time. Just as nature has spring, summer, fall, and winter, your life and work also move through natural seasons, and you must recognize and respect them. There are seasons of preparation when you're learning, training, and developing. Don't rush these times. They build the foundation for everything that comes later. Too many people want the harvest without the planting, the victory without the battle, the reward without the work. But life doesn't work that way. Then come the seasons of planting, when you start projects, launch new initiatives, and take risks. These require courage and faith, because you're investing time without immediate return. That's why most people avoid them. Finally, there are seasons of cultivation, when you nurture what you've planted, solve problems, and overcome obstacles. These demand patience and persistence, but they are essential to reaching the harvest. Think of the Chinese bamboo tree. For 4 years, nothing seems to happen above ground. But during that time, its root system is developing. Then, in the 5th year, it shoots up 90 feet in just 6 weeks. Most people quit during the cultivation season because they can't see progress, but real growth is happening beneath the surface. Next comes the season of harvest, when you reap the rewards of your time investments. These are times of abundance and fulfillment. But remember, the size of your harvest always depends on what you did in the seasons before. Finally, there are seasons of rest and renewal. These are not optional, they're essential. Even the most productive people must recharge, reflect, and prepare for the next cycle. A wise time investor works with the seasons, not against them. You can't harvest in the planting season, and you can't plant in the winter. Understanding your current season prevents frustration and maximizes productivity. Now let's turn to one of the most important uses of your time, relationships. Some people are so busy making a living that they forget to make a life. They succeed in their careers, but fail with the people who matter most. As I've often said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about it. Your income, your health, your attitudes, and your habits will reflect those closest to you. Are you investing time with people who lift you up or drag you down? Who expand your thinking or limit it? Who encourage your dreams or dismiss them? These questions matter because your relationships shape your direction. Beyond influence, there's a simple truth. Relationships require time. Love is spelled T-M-E. You cannot build meaningful connections in the margins of life. I know executives who schedule time with their children as seriously as their biggest clients. I know entrepreneurs who guard date night with the same commitment they give to business meetings. They understand that no achievement can make up for failure at home. Here's a sobering thought. At the end of your life, you won't wish you had spent more time at the office. At the end of your life, you won't wish for more hours in the office. You'll wish for more time with the people you love. Invest accordingly. Now let's look at perhaps the highest return on your time investment, personal development. Most people work harder on their jobs than they do on themselves. But if you work hard on yourself, you can create a fortune. The best investment I ever made wasn't in stocks or real estate. It was the time I spent developing myself. Reading books, attending seminars, seeking mentors, and practicing new skills. Over decades, those investments compounded into opportunities one could never have imagined. Here's a question worth asking. If you keep growing at your current rate, where will you be in 5 years? 10? 20? The answer depends on the time you dedicate daily to yourself. I recommend at least 30 minutes every day for personal development. Read, listen, study, practice. The biggest gap in life is the knowledge gap, and it can only be filled with dedicated time. Think about it. 1 book a month equals 12 a year, more than most Americans read in a decade. Just 30 minutes of study a day adds up to 182 hours annually, the same as 4 college courses. Small investments of time yield enormous dividends. Let's also talk about time and wealth creation. Many of you want financial success, so here's a truth. Wealth is directly tied to how you use your time. The poor and middle class trade time for money in a straight line, An hour of work for an hour of pay. Stop working and income stops. It's a losing game because your hours are limited. The wealthy, however, invest time in building assets that generate income without their constant involvement. They create systems, develop products, build businesses, and make investments that continue to pay them long after the initial effort. Robert Kiyosaki calls it the difference between working for money and having money work for you. That distinction changes everything. Here's the formula. Identify your highest value skills. Dedicate time to mastering them. Apply those skills to create scalable income and reinvest the proceeds to buy back your time. This approach requires delaying gratification. You might work 80 hours a week building a business so that one day you can work 0 and still receive income. That's the smart trade. Remember, your most valuable financial asset isn't in your portfolio, it's your earning ability. And that ability grows in direct proportion to the time you invest in developing marketable skills. Now let me share what I call the time multipliers, strategies that effectively give you more than 24 hours in a day. Multiplier number 1, delegation. When you delegate a 3-hour task to someone else, you've just created 3 extra hours in your day. But true delegation isn't dumping work. It's transferring tasks systematically to the lowest paid competent person who can handle them. Start by listing everything you do, then ask, is this the highest and best use of my time? If not, train someone else to do it. Training costs time up front, but it pays enormous dividends later. Multiplier number 2, automation. We live in an extraordinary age where technology can take care of many routine tasks. Email autoresponders, scheduled social media posts, automated bill payments. These tools free up time for higher value activities. Look closely at every repetitive task and ask, can this be automated? You'll be surprised how much time you can reclaim. Multiplier number 3, elimination. This may be the most powerful multiplier of all. Ask yourself, what can I stop doing altogether with little or no negative consequence? Most lives are cluttered with activities that don't serve true goals or values. Identify them. Eliminate them. No explanation, no apology, just stop. As Peter Drucker once asked, what am I doing that doesn't need to be done at all? The honest answer will reveal hours hiding in plain sight. Multiplier number 4, concentration. Focus intensely on one important task, and you can accomplish in an hour what might take someone else 3 or 4 hours of distracted effort. Concentration doesn't create more time, but it makes every minute far more productive. Multiplier number 5, education. The right knowledge can save you enormous time. I've watched people struggle for hours with tasks that someone with the right training could finish in minutes what might take you hours. That's why the time you invest in learning relevant skills always returns to you multiplied. Now, let's talk about the natural rhythms of productivity. Your body runs on cycles called circadian rhythms, which cause your energy, focus, and creativity to rise and fall throughout the day. The secret to peak productivity is simple. Align your most important work with your highest energy levels. For most people, the peak happens in the morning, with a smaller rise in the early evening and a significant dip mid-afternoon. Don't fight these rhythms. Use them. Schedule demanding, creative, or high-value tasks during your peak hours. Save routine or less important tasks for your low-energy times. Also, work in focused blocks rather than fragmented bursts. The Pomodoro technique suggests 25 minutes of concentrated effort followed by a 5-minute break. Others prefer 90-minute sessions, which align with natural attention cycles. Find your rhythm and honor it. This alignment can double or even triple your output without adding hours. Another powerful strategy is building strong routines. Routines eliminate decision fatigue and create momentum. Consider your morning routine. The first hour of your day often shapes the quality of the rest. Yet many people start reactively, checking emails, responding to texts, or scrolling social media, handing their most valuable time to someone else's priorities. Instead, design a morning routine that centers you, energizes you, and focuses on what matters most. It might include meditation, exercise, reading, planning, or tackling your most important project before distractions set in. Equally important is your evening routine. The last hour before sleep influences the quality of your rest and sets the tone for tomorrow. Use it to wind down, reflect on the day's accomplishments, and prepare priorities for the next. Between these bookends, establish routines for your workday. dedicated times for email, returning calls, meetings, and deep work. The more you routinize predictable tasks, the more energy and attention you preserve for what truly counts. The more predictable you make your day, the more mental energy you preserve for creative and strategic thinking. Now let's talk about a hidden trap: urgency addiction. Many people suffer from what Stephen Covey called the addiction to urgency, a dependence on the adrenaline rush of handling crises and last-minute demands. They confuse busyness with importance, constantly putting out fires. But this reactive lifestyle pushes aside the truly important but non-urgent activities: relationship building, personal growth, preventive maintenance, and long-term planning. Breaking this cycle requires courage. You must be willing to let go of certain urgent but unimportant matters so you can focus on what really counts. Think of the story of two lumberjacks. One worked non-stop, never pausing, while the other stopped periodically to sharpen his axe. Who cut more trees? The second lumberjack. The urgency-addicted person is like the first, busy but ineffective. The wise time investor is like the second, strategic and productive. Then comes the technology paradox. We live in an age of unprecedented convenience, surrounded by tools designed to save time. Yet many feel more starved for time than ever. Why? Because the very tools meant to free us often consume us. Your smartphone, built to make communication efficient, now interrupts focus over 100 times a day. Email, meant to speed up communication, has become an endless obligation. Social media, designed to connect, often turns into a bottomless pit of distraction. The solution is not to reject technology, but to master it. Set boundaries. Turn off notifications. Create set times to check emails and digital messages. Use technology as a tool, not as a leash. Remember this principle. Just because you can be reached doesn't mean you should always be available. Your time is valuable, and technology should serve that value, not diminish it. Finally, let's address a popular misconception: the myth of perfect work-life balance. Many believe every day should divide neatly between work, family, health, spirituality, and personal interests. The idea of perfect daily balance isn't just unrealistic, it's counterproductive. Life moves in seasons. There will be times when your career requires intense focus, seasons when family must come first, and moments when your health demands priority. The goal isn't perfect balance each day, but intentional imbalance. Choosing consciously where to focus your time according to the season, while still ensuring that over the long run you invest in all areas that truly matter. Rather than chasing balance, seek integration. Blend priorities whenever possible. Exercise with your spouse. Listen to educational content on your commute. Include your children in parts of your work, or teach what you're learning to someone else. These strategies multiply the value of your time. Now let's consider the cost of indecision. Few people realize how expensive it is. When you postpone decisions, you create a backlog of unresolved issues that drain mental energy and increase stress. Hours, even days, can be wasted in the gray zone of uncertainty. Should I accept this opportunity? Should I hire this person? Should I move in this direction? That hesitation consumes energy and stalls progress. Develop the habit of making timely decisions. Gather the key information, weigh the alternatives, then decide. Remember, not deciding is itself a decision, usually the worst one. For small choices, use this rule. If the consequences of being wrong are minor, decide quickly and move on. Save deep deliberation for the decisions that truly shape your future. Finally, let's get practical: the financial value of your time. Have you ever calculated what an hour of your life is really worth? It's an eye-opening exercise. Take your desired annual income and divide it by 2,000, the approximate number of working hours in a year. That's your target hourly rate. Now compare how you actually spend your time against this standard. Are your daily activities aligned with the value of your time, or are you underselling yourself without even realizing it? If your time is worth $100 an hour, does it really make sense to spend 3 hours washing your car when you could pay someone $20 to do it? This isn't about being too important for certain tasks. It's about mathematical reality. When you handle work that could be done by someone at a lower rate, you're effectively giving yourself a pay cut. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They constantly ask, is this the highest and best use of my time right now? If the answer is no, they delegate, automate, or eliminate. Beyond simple financial math lies the concept of opportunity cost, what you give up when you choose one-time investment over another. Every hour spent watching television could have been invested in reading, learning a skill, building a business, or deepening a relationship. Every minute spent complaining could have been used for planning or taking action. Every day spent working only for someone else's dream could have been directed toward building your own. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. The true cost of time isn't measured only by what you do, but by what you could have done instead. When you fully grasp opportunity cost, your decisions change. You realize that saying no to good opportunities creates space for great ones. You see that so-called free time isn't free if it keeps you from investing in activities with higher returns. And this brings us to a final thought. You are creating your time legacy every single day. The way you choose to invest your hours not only shapes your present, it builds your future and leaves an imprint that outlives you. The way you use your time leaves an imprint that extends beyond your life. When you invest in developing yourself, you create skills that serve you for decades. When you invest in meaningful relationships, you build bonds that sustain you through challenges. And when you invest in creating value for others, you earn a reputation that opens doors. On the other hand, wasting time on meaningless distractions forfeits future opportunities. Misusing time in destructive behaviors creates problems that demand even more time later. Every moment killed by mindless habits is a piece of life you can never recover. So ask yourself, how will the way you spend your hours today shape your life 1 year from now, 5 years from now, or at the end of your life? What choices will continue bearing fruit even after you're gone? Few people think this way, but those who do achieve extraordinary things. They plant trees they'll never sit under. They build businesses that outlast them. They mentor people who carry their influence forward. They create ripples that keep expanding long after they're gone. Now I want to issue a 30-day transformation challenge. Commit to reshaping your relationship with time. Here's how. First, clarify your values and major life goals. What truly matters to you? Who do you want to become? Write these down and review them daily. Second, analyze your current time investments. Track every hour for 1 week, categorizing activities into 4 quadrants: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. Third, identify your high-leverage activities, the 20% of tasks that create 80% of your results, and double the time you spend on them. Fourth, establish strong morning and evening routines that align with your highest values. These routines will anchor your day and protect you from drift. Fifth, ruthlessly eliminate low-value activities. What can you stop doing immediately? What can you delegate or streamline? Invest at least 30 minutes each day in personal development. Read, listen, study, and practice. This small daily habit will compound over time into extraordinary growth. Seventh, protect your most important relationships. Schedule time for them in advance, and treat those commitments with the same respect as your biggest business meetings. After 30 days of practicing these disciplines, pause and evaluate. You'll be amazed at the transformation in your productivity, your sense of purpose, and your overall life satisfaction. Now, let's close with some final thoughts. The way you spend your time is the clearest reflection of what you truly value. Your schedule speaks louder than your words ever could. Time is life in its purest form. When you give your time to something, or to someone, you're giving away a piece of your life that you can never reclaim. That's why time management isn't about managing minutes. It's about managing yourself. The truth is, you cannot control time itself, but you can fully control how you invest it. And that choice, where your hours go, will shape your achievements, your relationships, your legacy, and your fulfillment more than any other decision you make. So I encourage you to choose wisely. Don't drift through your days reacting to every demand. Don't hand over your precious hours to other people's priorities. And don't waste your life on distractions that pull you away from your highest purpose. Instead, invest your time as carefully as you would invest your money, perhaps even more carefully. Because while you can always earn more money, you can never earn more time. Start today. Start now. The clock is ticking for all of us. The only difference lies in how we choose to spend it. With every tick of the clock, your choices matter. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now go out and invest your time wisely. Before we close, let's recap the key principles we've covered. Time is your most valuable asset, so treat it with respect. Your schedule reveals your real priorities, so make sure it reflects your values. Learn to distinguish between what's urgent and what's important, and give your best energy to what truly matters. Identify and defeat the enemies of time, especially procrastination and distraction. Work with your natural rhythms by aligning tasks with your peak energy levels. Establish strong routines to reduce decision fatigue. Practice the disciplines of planning, prioritization, and reflection. Invest in activities with the highest returns, personal development, relationship building, and meaningful work. Use the time multipliers, delegation, automation, elimination, concentration, and education. And always think in terms of legacy, because the choices you make today shape your tomorrow. Remember, time management isn't about controlling the clock, it's about managing yourself. Don't just prioritize what's already on your calendar, schedule what truly deserves priority. I wish you extraordinary success as you move toward a life of more meaningful and productive time investments. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today by managing their hours wisely. Be one of those rare individuals. Now, let me leave you with one final tool, an implementation framework to transform your relationship with time. Step 1 is assessment. Track your time for a full week. Identify high-leverage activities, notice patterns of waste, calculate your ideal hourly rate, and determine your peak energy periods. Step 2 is vision. Clarify your lifetime goals, define your core values, imagine your ideal day, set 90-day objectives, and create measurable benchmarks for progress. Step 3 is design. Establish morning and evening routines, block time for high-value activities, schedule relationship investments, carve out personal development periods, and set clear boundaries around technology use. Step 4 is action. Live your design for 30 days, review progress weekly, make adjustments, celebrate small wins, and build accountability by sharing your journey with others. Step 5 is mastery. Over time, strengthen your disciplines by continuously eliminating low-value activities. Increase delegation and automation, refine your systems and routines, and share what you've learned with others. This framework isn't complicated, but it does demand commitment. The gap between knowing and doing is the very line that separates failure from success. Don't just learn these principles, live them. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. But most importantly, start today, because the way you spend the next 24 hours is a mirror of how you'll spend the rest of your life. Thank you once again for your time and attention. It has been an honor to share these ideas with you. Now go make your time count. I wish you good health, happiness, and remember to subscribe to my channel, Mindset Daily.